Thanks, Marie. I have a little bit bigger font. It's an honor for me to be here again 30 years later and celebrate you guys re-up. I was pleased to do it the first time, and I'm more pleased to do it today. And when George phoned, he asked me if I had any, dirt on you guys. I said no. But then I thought about it for a little while, passed around a little bit, and turns out, I'm going to give you the brief history of Derry and Lynn. So in 1977, Derry and Lynn were both working in Canadian Tire in Dalhousie. Lynn was in housewares. Derry was in plumbing. It wasn't until the Canadian Tire Christmas party that the two of them actually met.
This can't be a true story.
And they danced together for the first time. Let's just say a few more times than Derry's date was comfortable with. What are you crying for? It's true. So a little while after Christmas, Derry spotted Lynn at work walking down aisle 9 in housewares, and he decided to ask her out for a drink after work. Lynn had to run out to the parking lot and tell her dad, "Hey Dad, I got a surprise date. You're gonna have to pick me up." So off they went to the Crow Child Inn, which was funny because, neither of them drank at the time. And Lynn was a couple of months shy of her 18th birthday. Derry had, moved into the big 18 before her. But, they didn't even go into the party side of the Crow Child. They went into the lounge with the old folks, They sat there and they had a couple of Advocate or Snowball cocktails. It was very sad.
I'm never telling you another thing.
But there must have been some magic in those snowballs. Because, as the rest of the story goes, it just goes to prove that you can get just about everything at Canadian Tire. It wasn't long after that when Lynn was walking down a different aisle. Walking down to stand beside the man that she loves, looking as radiant as she does tonight. To stand beside the man in his powder blue tux, who just a few minutes before the ceremony was caught by my mother looking into the mirror and saying, "Damn, I look so good, I'd marry me." That's a true story. Now you can cry. But they stood beside each other that day. And maybe that's what marriage is all about. Standing beside each other. Through the good times and the bad. And as Dickens would say, through the best of the times, through the worst of times. Like the time when Derry, we used to referee hockey, and Lynn would go to the games, and she was always ready to defend Derry from the onslaught of the verbal abuse that was hurled at the referee. And believe me, she could give as good as she could take. And, I don't remember any fisticuffs, but she stood by her man. Or that time when you guys were playing that drinking game in Europe, and Lynn wandered off somehow and just got hopelessly lost. Derry finally found her, and she was scared and crying in this maze of tour buses out in the parking lot. Derry stood by her that time. And when they moved like 10 times in the first 10 years,
thanks, Darren.
They stood beside each other. It's a good thing your furniture was all on wheels. Then there was a time when Derry came home from work one day, and it was in '86, and he told Lynn he just bought a golf membership. And Lynn stood beside him, screaming, "How could you buy a flipping golf membership without talking to me? I don't even play golf!" I wasn't just perfect. And there was a time at Derry's 30th birthday when Lynn found Derry rather drunk, wearing a napkin on his head, with the four corners all tied together. He was crying into his rum about, "I didn't want to be 30 years old."
This isn't a roast.
But I told that night, we all stood beside Derry, laughing our frickin' asses. And over the last couple of months, Lynn was suddenly faced with one of the biggest trials of her life. Once again, you stood beside each other, as close as two people can get. And as they say, things have a way of working themselves out when there's someone standing beside you. Like how all those moves have led you to this wonderful place that you now share together in your life. And how if one of you ever became lost along life's journey, the other one was always there to find you, and guide you home again. And how it turned out that Lynn became a golf fanatic, who, much to Derry's chagrin, got a hole-in-one 5 years to the date before he did, and went on to shoot par last year at the Ladies City Amateur.